Hey my loves, I'm Anita Manager and welcome back to Sip and Simmer. We all may have our concerns and worries in life, but during the next 30 minutes, you're mine. We're here to have a drink, a snack, and a good time. Tonight we are going to be making chocolate chip cookies and a drink that I created myself, the Sienna Special. If you would like to contribute to the production of Sip and Simmer, my Venmo is Mrs. Anita Manager, and all the proceeds do go to the drinks and the snacks we make here together. Tonight, as usual, we have the beautiful Sienna Rose joining us. But before I go on, I need a minute. It is Pride Week, and it is super important for us to talk about our LGBTQ plus families and whatever that family may mean to us individually. Tonight I want to talk about something that's super important to not just me, but also my husband, and that's non-traditional families. Chances are, if you're a regular viewer, you already understand what that means, but for those of us who don't, a non-traditional family is a family that goes outside of what was once believed as normal. One mom, one dad, one or more kids, and they're biologically theirs. That's the model of family that we saw pretty much our whole lives growing up on TV and movies, and it's one that we're all told that we're supposed to aspire to. But that isn't the only kind of family there is. You can have kids who are adopted, like my husband was, and he's no less a child of his parents that was raised by one of their biological parents. But for some reason, people find out that he's adopted, their initial instinct is to apologize. He and his parents love each other just as much as my parents love me and I love them, and there's nothing that needs an apology when someone is adopted. There's also single parents, which again, people feel the need to apologize for. There's nothing missing from a child's life when they're raised by a single parent. The same goes for children who are raised by same-sex couples like my husband and I hope to do one day. There's also families that go outside of the parent-child relationship. Our home is made up of 6 people. Myself, my husband, my sister, and 3 of our best friends. And we're as much as a family as anybody else, and as much as my parents and my cousins are to me. Those within the LGBTQ plus community often learn that lesson from building families with other queer people. But it's something that any group of people could share an interest or an identity can do. Respecting each other's families is a small thing that each of us can do, which makes a huge difference in people's lives. Too many of us are judged or shamed for having a family that doesn't fit the traditional mold. But as long as people have some sort of family, what's the difference to anybody else? There are countless ways of creating and having a family. The only important factor is that you share love and mutual respect, and everything else is just in the details. I think it's super important for us all to love and respect each other during Pride more than ever, during this quarantine more than ever. We are all here together and we are going to make it through. Now, before we invite Sienna on, let's get our cocktail started so we can invite her on with something to drink. I have my shaker here. I've got all of our fixins for our drink here and 2 tumblers. Now this is basically a vodka soda that I'm gonna throw a bunch of grenadine and simple syrup in. So I have 2 ounces of vodka. I've got ½ an ounce of grenadine. I've got ½ an ounce of simple syrup. And I'm gonna give this a shake and then I'm gonna top it off with some seltzer. If you watch enough, you'll know that I don't like to shake, and that's about as good as it's gonna get. So, I've got the lid off. Now, we're gonna give these a quick little pour. I thought that this would be a fun drink to do since we are, in fact, the first night of Pride Week, and our color is red. So I decided to go with a very vibrant red drink to go with our lovely red outfits. So I'm just gonna give this a little top of soda, and let's invite the beautiful Sienna Rose.
I'm back again. Hi, gay people.
She's here, she's queer, and she's perfect.
Say it again.
All right, just in case we have people who are watching for the first time, why don't you let everybody know where they can find you on social media?
Well, you guys can find me everywhere on social media at Sienna Rose Official on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Venmo, Christian Mingle, Grindr, Tinder, anywhere.
The new
Sienna
one.
Rose Official.
And the new one,
The new one.
the TikTok.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. I am also on the TikTok, as the kids call it.
All right, and you can find me everywhere at Mrs. Anita Manager. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, my my website, my YouTube, Mrs. Anita Manager. Simple as that.
Lovely.
All right, so we've got our lovely Sienna specials here. I made yours a little bit weaker for you.
Thank you so much.
All right, so let's cheers to pride.
Let's do it.
All right.
Now, since this is my namesake drink, I hope it's good and hope it's sweet because I like things very sweet.
Oh, it's sweet.
Ooh.
It's good, right?
I like that.
See?
She
Do
did
I know
good. You did good, girl.
Okay. That is really good.
That is.
Unfortunately, I don't think we'll be saying our special word of the night here. It's a very simple recipe.
I mean, normally our drinking word of the day is thick, which
It's thick.
surprisingly comes up a lot in the kitchen. But I think tonight maybe we should switch it up.
Okay.
So why don't we just make it pride?
Okay, I could do that.
So every time we say pride, if you're drinking, drink along with us. Cheers.
Cheers. Okay. So when I think of, I'm not doing this on purpose, when I think of pride,
What do you think of?
I think of pretty much what I was just talking about.
Me in a shiny costume?
Exactly.
Absolutely.
I think of our chosen families. Now, all of us here are lucky enough to have our own biological families or the families that we were raised with.
Right.
But I also think it's super important that we bring to light our chosen families. Like
Absolutely.
we in this house are so, and I hate saying this because it sounds like there's nothing else to say, but in this case, I feel like there is nothing else. I feel like we are blessed
We are.
to have this family that we've created here.
Yes. Hashtag blessed. 'Cause
Hashtag blessed.
you have to hashtag it.
Right. So what says family and pride more than cookies? Chocolate chip, mama's cookies.
Right? Nothing says love like chocolate chip cookies.
Right? And this is not your Nestle Toll House recipe neither.
Oh, no.
Okay, so.
So how do we get started on making these delicious cookies?
All right, so this is super simple. Believe it or not, it doesn't get any easier than this.
You don't say!
Okay, so we've got all of our ingredients measured out.
Okay.
You want to move this to the side? for me?
Absolutely.
Okay, so
Safekeeping over here.
what do I say all the time? Mise en place.
Yep, you do.
Mise en place. Have everything in place. Now, when you're baking, when you're cooking, it is always a good idea to make sure that all of your ingredients are measured out and ready for you to grab as you're ready to go. The easier it is, the better, because you want to make sure that everything is going in time.
Right.
Okay, so chocolate chip cookies.
Yes.
My recipe is we have 2 1/4 cups of flour. We have 1 teaspoon of salt.
Right.
We have 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and we're gonna leave that on the side.
Okay.
All right. So we've got our dry ingredients mixed together. Beautiful. Love it. In our handy dandy mixer. Unfortunately, tonight we do not have your best friend.
Oh no.
No Captain Hook. We have the paddle attached.
Paddle's back.
Okay. So what we're gonna do with the paddle is we are going to get it going. Okay. So we have 2 sticks of butter.
Okay.
Pretty standard. You use a lot of butter in cookies.
It doesn't matter. The butter should be salted, unsalted.
Okay, so if you're gonna use salted butter, you're gonna skip putting salt in the mix.
Got
If
it.
you're using unsalted butter, put the salt in. I always strongly suggest when you're making cookies to use unsalted butter, so that way you can
Control the amount of
control
salt.
the amount of salt. Because salt is very important for cookies. It works with the leavener, which is the baking powder tonight, and it gives it a lot of flavor. When you're working with something sweet, you need to make sure that you have a little bit of salt in it to counter and to bring out the sweetness.
Love that.
Okay, so I've got my butter in the mixer, and now I'm gonna go in with sugar. There's no white sugar in this recipe.
None?
None at all. That's why I really like this recipe, because the cookies get nice brown.
They do. They look beautiful.
And the big difference between white sugar and brown sugar is molasses. I used to put molasses in my cookies and use white sugar. So I stopped putting molasses in my cookies and I started using all brown sugar.
Yes.
All right, so we're gonna put that together.
Okay.
And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna cream the butter and the sugar together.
Okay.
So you wanna make sure that it is completely incorporated
Completely incorporated.
before you add anything else. Right?
Okay. Sounds easy enough to me.
So we have a moment. So I'm just gonna drink my little pride drink.
Oh, said the word.
Now that was on purpose.
I know it was. Thanks for that. Okay.
Alright. So what is your favorite thing about Pride Month?
My favorite thing about Pride Month. Fair. I don't know. I really love everything about Pride Month, but my favorite thing is just the sense of community that we all have during that month. We all really do feel connected and as one, and we all come together and celebrate our pride, and we're proud of who we are. We're here, we're queer, we're not going anywhere.
That's right.
And usually we get to go out, have fun, see a lot of sparkly women walking the streets, but fortunately this year we're just on your screens.
In your living room.
Mm-hmm.
How about that?
Yes. But that doesn't mean you don't have to tip us, because we do have Venmo still.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Ding.
Yes.
My favorite thing about Pride is the community aspect, like you were saying. But, just the fact that when you go to a Pride event, we're going to skip the secret word for the moment. You just feel like you're connected to everybody. Everybody's so much nicer during Pride. And it's just nice to constantly walk through a Pride event and just smile at somebody. And it's not about who's looking at who's hitting on who. It's just instant camaraderie.
Yeah.
That's my favorite thing.
And one thing I am definitely going to miss this year is just walking through the park, seeing all the families out of there, the moms bringing their kids. We're just showing love and support. I'm going to really miss that this year.
That's my favorite.
So, if you're at home watching with your kids, if you have a family, make sure you just, give them love. Let all your kids know that they can be exactly who they want to be, how they want to be, and that's perfectly acceptable.
Your little boy wants to put on a dress, hand him some lipstick. Right?
Oh, yes.
Your little girl wants to put on some denim shorts. That means nothing.
Right.
Be who you are and be comfortable. Okay. So, I'm going to give this one quick whip to really incorporate the butter.
Okay.
And are you ready for a game?
Am I ready for a game?
Yeah.
I think since you like to torture me so much, are you ready for a game?
Oh boy. Okay. Okay. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Just let me get this.
That's right.
Okay, and I might have skipped earlier. You want to make sure that your butter is room temperature, so that way it mixes a lot easier than what I just went through.
Okay.
But we're fully incorporated. Before we go on, why don't you give me my first question?
Okay, so this is a very special Pride edition of trivia. Yes, we will drink for that one. Okay. Now, how do you think your Pride trivia knowledge smartness is?
So my Pride trivia, I'm going to go 50-50.
Okay.
If it was just strict LGBTQ plus trivia, I would have been a lot more confident.
Okay.
But since this is basically is focused on Pride?
It's a mixture of both.
Okay. All right. I'm
pretty
50-50.
heavy on the Pride, but Pride is for the LGBTQIA plus community, so there's a lot of those questions.
All right. So I'm going to say I'm like 50-50. I'm pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So your first question. Who was the very first openly gay man to be elected to a political office in the state of California? Now, lucky for you, we do have a couple options.
Okay.
So is it A, Mark Leno, B, Harvey Milk, C, Michael Huffington, or D, Joe Exotic?
All right. So I'll give you guys a second at home to come up with your answers.
And no Googling.
I think I have mine.
Okay. Are there any you think it's not right off the bat?
So I'm going to have to say Joe Exotic because I'm pretty sure he lives in Florida.
Okay. Maybe. But he did run for office.
Didn't he run for like president or something? No, governor.
He did.
Was it president?
I believe he was a write-in vote. Yes.
Oh man. Well, we all make mistakes in life.
Okay. Okay, so you don't think it's Joe Exotic?
I'm
it's
100%
not the Tiger
confident
King.
it is not the Tiger King. And I'm going to have to go with B, Harvey Milk.
B, Harvey Milk.
Yeah.
Well, ding, 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 lady, you're right.
Yes.
So Harvey Milk won a seat in the San Francisco Board of Supervisors, but sadly, he was assassinated after serving less than a year.
Yeah. One of my story times that I do, I read a whole book about Harvey Milk to the kids. And I was actually really proud that they sat there and paid attention, and it was like a book. So, good for you kids paying attention.
All right, yes.
Okay. So, in our chocolate chip cookies, we have the butter, we have the sugar, and now we're going to keep it with the wet ingredients.
Okay.
I've got a teaspoon of vanilla, and I've got 2 eggs right here.
Okay.
So I'm going to get that in.
Just gonna mix those in?
Yep.
Just like that?
That's it.
And we're like, what, on like a medium setting?
Yeah, you don't want to overdo it because it'll get too creamy, but you don't want to underdo it because you want to make sure that that egg is fully incorporated into the sugar.
Now, speaking of Harvey Milk, does anybody at home know what his nickname was? I'll give you a couple seconds to answer. Do you know what his nickname was?
Honestly, I don't.
No?
No.
Okay. Well, fun fact. His nickname was the mayor of Castro Street.
I'm assuming that was... You didn't go that far?
No, I did not. Okay.
Okay. So.
I'm assuming that was maybe a street in his governance?
Yeah, I would assume that was like maybe the neighborhood.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so it was probably like Christopher Street.
Yeah.
Cute. Okay, before we get to our next ingredients, let's go with the next question.
Next question?
Yeah, I love me some gay trivia.
Dun dun dun. I wish we can get like dramatic lighting like it's like a lip sync for your life.
Oh my god.
Okay, question number 2. Are you ready?
I guess.
Well, too bad. Because which U.S. state became the very first to outlaw discrimination based on sexual orientation?
Ooh.
Which U.S. state became the very first to outlaw discrimination based on sexual orientation? Is it A, Florida, home of Joe Exotic, B, Georgia, C, Wisconsin, or D, Pennsylvania?
My guess wasn't on the list at all.
What was your guess?
I was going to say New York.
New York.
Okay.
Unfortunately, they were not the first.
All right.
Only one of these was.
All right.
Was.
So
Worse.
which state became the first to outlaw discrimination based on sexual orientation?
Yes. Florida, Georgia, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania.
Okay, so I'm going to be statist.
Okay.
Is that a thing?
I don't know. State your question.
I don't believe it's Florida or Georgia because they're in the South. Is that awful?
Oh.
Is that awful? Is that bad of me?
Well, I mean, considering one of the games that we have here at Sip and Simmer, Florida Man,
no,
yeah, they don't need rights right now.
The game is a Florida man did what?
Well, yes.
Okay, so I'm going to eliminate Georgia and Florida. So that leaves us
Wisconsin and Pennsylvania.
Can I get a little help here?
Can you? Do you want to phone a friend?
Who am I going to phone?
I don't know. You got friends?
So, if you had the answer.
I know the answers, girl.
Okay, so I have Wisconsin and Pennsylvania. I'm going to go with Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. D.
Yeah.
D for dun dun dun. You were wrong. It actually is Wisconsin.
Good for Wisconsin.
Right? So, Wisconsin.
Thank you.
Yes. Wisconsin passed a law on March 2nd, 1982, removing discrimination in employment, housing, and public accommodations.
Wow. I was not expecting that
Right?
from the Midwest.
Good for them.
Come through, Wisconsin. Okay. So, cookies, sugar, butter, vanilla, egg. What's next? Our dry ingredients.
Love it.
Okay. So, what you're going to do is you're not going to dump it all in at once.
You're
going to get a mix.
Okay.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in about half. And I'm going to turn it on.
Yep.
And while we have a moment, again, happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
Cheers.
Cheers, cheers.
Okay. At this point, it's going to start to come together super quick. Like I said, chocolate chip cookies are super easy. And I know I say that about all of our recipes, but I mean, chocolate chip cookies are... Now, if you are making these and you are taking them somewhere, once you have the flour in, excuse me, I would put in a tablespoon of corn syrup.
Why is that?
Because it makes them last a little bit longer, and it also gives them a little bit more of a bite. If you're gonna eat them right out of the oven like we're gonna,
Absolutely.
I'm gonna skip it. But traditionally, for my cookies, at this point, I would put in a tablespoon of corn syrup.
Okay.
You can go dark if you want them to have a little bit more of like a heavier flavor, or you can go light corn syrup, and it'll just be a little bit lighter. It won't really affect them. They'll just give them a little bit more chew. Right?
I do love a chewy cookie.
Right? It's great on ice cream.
Oh, yes.
You dip the bottom in chocolate. You make an ice cream sandwich. I mean, there's so many options when it comes to cookies. Like, I love them. Okay.
Super versatile.
Right? Come through with the verse cookie.
Right, yes.
All right. Let's jump to another question.
My turn.
You're doing the questions.
You always put these in front of me and I get in trouble for it. Okay. So, question number 3.
Okay.
Are you ready? You're 1 for 1, maybe? None for 0? I don't know.
1 for 2.
You go. Okay.
1 for 2.
You got 1.
Yeah.
Okay. So, who designed the rainbow flag, one of the most prominent symbols of the LGBT community? Was it A, Robert G. Heft, B, Gilbert Baker, C, Sylvia Rivera, or D, Bayard Rustin?
Okay.
Again, who designed the rainbow flag, the most prominent symbol of the LGBT community? A, Robert G. Heft, B, Gilbert Baker, C, Sylvia Rivera, or D, Bayard Rustin?
All right, so I'm going to give you guys a second to come up with your answers because I know my history.
Do you?
I do.
And it was Betsy Ross.
Right.
Yes.
She sued every SAR to the gay flag.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go through this.
Okay.
First of all, if you don't know who Sylvia Rivera is, I need you to jump on the internet after our show.
Yes.
And I need you to do some research because she is to me, I believe she is one of the most prominent figures in our LGBTQ plus community history.
Yes, absolutely.
So it was not her.
It was not.
It was not.
You sure she wasn't in Stonewall just sewing away?
I mean, she could have been.
Maybe.
She most likely was making her outfits. Right? See, now you're intrigued a little bit. Now you want to know who she was.
Right.
Right? Fun fact, Stonewall wasn't where it is right now.
Exactly.
It burned out.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Another fun fact, nobody died at Stonewall, Derek Barry.
Oh, girl, come on. No.
You have to play that clip every Pride.
I know.
It's a classic now.
Now, yes, nobody died, but there was a lot of back and forth, we'll say. So, okay. So there's actually a documentary on Netflix about Sylvia.
Yes, there is.
That you can watch. But I suggest doing a little bit of research first because the documentary, while it's obviously very good, I want you to get a little bit of an understanding of who she is before you jump into watching a movie. I want you to understand who she was as a person. Okay. So
isn't she also getting a statue in New York City?
I believe she's getting a statue across the street from Stonewall. And that little
Oh, that's
park.
perfect. Okay, yeah.
I forget what the park is called.
Statue. I forgot where though.
Yeah.
Love that.
So, if we can go back to our list of
potential people?
answers.
Okay.
I feel like I should know who the other 2 people are because I feel like maybe you put in people of our history to throw me off.
Maybe.
But I'm gonna go with Gilbert Baker.
Gilbert Baker.
Yes.
Was she correct? Was she correct?
Yes.
She was! Yes, it was. Gilbert Baker.
Right. So, a few things that I do know about him is right now our flag is red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. So that's 6 colors. There used to be more colors. There was pink, and then there was also indigo.
Yes.
And these colors, all of our colors on the rainbow, all stand for different things. I don't know them all at the top of my head. Again, do your research about our history, and I want you to tell me what all of the colors of the rainbow stand for. But ironically enough, so indigo was dropped, so it could be pink wasn't able to be put on the flag because they ran out of pink fabric.
Okay.
And then when the flag went to the San Francisco Pride, a year after it was made,
Mm-hmm.
they wanted it to be an even number of colors on either side of the street. So that's when indigo got dropped.
Bye, girl.
And the other thing that I know, and I didn't cheat, is he actually died recently, the man who made the flag. He died about 3 or 4 years ago. And in 2017 at 65. And see, this is why we don't pay him.
Right?
You are great. You're great. The flag first appeared at the San Francisco Pride Parade in 1978. Now, I could be wrong, but my fun fact about the colors falling off the flag, I believe was the following year.
Okay.
So,
maybe.
I want you at home to do your research, and you tell me. You all know where you can find us on social media. If you want to yell at me because I'm wrong, you can message me. If you want to rub it in her face that I was right, you can message her.
Absolutely love that.
You can find both of us everywhere. All right, so I'm going to throw our last ingredient in our chocolate chip cookies.
Okay.
Which is
Most important.
chocolate chips.
Yes.
Now, if you don't want chocolate chips, you could throw
You're wrong.
Well, we'll start there.
Okay.
You're wrong. But you can throw in white chocolate. Let's
No,
say
you can't. No.
Some people are allergic to caffeine.
No. Well, then skip this whole recipe because I will not have it be degraded with white chocolate.
But, like I'm saying, this is the base for pretty much any cookie. So you could throw in macadamia nut and white chocolate. I love it.
No.
You can throw in caramel nuggets.
Yes.
You can throw in toffee.
Yes.
Anything that you find in the baking aisle that comes in a bag that says morsel, throw it in. It's delicious.
Unless it's white chocolate. Throw that out.
All right. So, 9 times out of 10, when you find a recipe for chocolate chip cookies that says, don't put them into the bowl in your stand mixer, they're going to break up.
Okay.
What's the problem there?
Right?
You get big pieces, you get little pieces. It is just like a chocolate overload. I always throw my chocolate chip cookies into the mixer.
Okay, so now we do that little mix.
Also,
Yes.
if you wanted to get, if you wanted to make chocolate chip cookies, instead of doing 2.5 cups of flour,
Okay.
you would do 2 cups of flour, 1/2 cup of cocoa powder. Boom, chocolate chip.
Ooh, what now?
Right.
Mic drop.
Okay. So, do we have any more questions, or am I off the hook?
I believe we have one more.
Oh, boy.
Are you ready?
Okay,
Now-
so I'm 2 for 3 now.
Yes.
So we might need a tiebreaker if I'm. Oh wait, this isn't a group.
No.
Never mind.
You're good.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I really hope you know this next one because it has to deal with us in a way.
Oh God,
Okay.
Will I be embarrassed if I don't know this one?
Probably.
Okay.
So, which of these gay anthems was conceived after songwriter and producer Nile Rodgers saw 3 drag queens dressed as the song's singer at a club in New York City? So Nile Rodgers went to a nightclub, he saw 3 drag queens performing as this artist, and that's when he got the idea for this song.
Okay.
Was it Vogue by Madonna, I Will Survive by Gloria Gaynor, I'm Coming Out by Diana Ross, or I'm Every Woman by Shaka Khan?
Oh my God, this is a hard question.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no. Okay.
Because, I mean,
So-
these are all gay anthems.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, you made this one really hard.
Sorry.
Okay. So
Do you at home know which 3 drag queens performed as this singer Nile Rodgers saw and created the song? Was it Vogue by Madonna, I Will Survive by Gloria Gaynor, I'm Coming Out by Diana Ross, or I'm Every Woman by Shaka Khan?
okay, so these are not only just amazing gay anthems,
Mm-hmm.
they're all like my favorite songs.
Right, drag queen classics.
Okay. Can I have a year?
A year? No, you can't have a year.
Come on.
No.
These are all like.
Because they all came out on different years.
I know. Okay, so 3 drag queens dressed as this singer in New York, and Nile Rodgers
Saw them
and
and
made-
instantly had this idea for a song. And it turned
Okay.
into one of them.
All right, so I'm going to eliminate.
How about this? The song was released in 1980. Does that help you at all?
No, because I don't know any of these.
Okay,
songs.
perfect.
I was just trying to buy my time.
Well, you bought it, and now
Okay.
It's your turn
so, 1980.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So I want to say I'm Coming Out came out before 1980.
Okay.
Is that?
I'm not gonna tell you if yes or no.
I'm just looking for a reaction.
Right? You're not gonna get one here.
Okay. Gloria Gaynor, I Will Survive.
Do you see people dressing up as Gloria Gaynor?
No. Oh, I didn't even think about that as like an eliminating factor. Okay, so I'm definitely gonna go with Gloria Gaynor is out.
Bye, girl. We love you.
Shaka Khan, I'm Every Woman is out.
Is it though?
I think so. I want.
You don't think that song would be inspired by drag queens? I'm every woman. It's all in me.
No, I'm gonna go with no.
Okay.
Now you're throwing me off.
Well, I don't know, girl. It's your answer.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, Shaka, I love you, girl, but you're out.
Okay.
Okay. So, I know for a fact that Madonna is one of the most impersonated women by drag queens. So,
Okay.
I think I'm going to skip her.
Really?
Because I think that's too easy of an answer.
Is it?
And I feel like I'm going to regret this, but I'm going to go with I'm Coming Out by Diana Ross.
Is that your final answer? You can't go back and change it.
Oh, God. Madonna? Diana Ross? Please, somebody help?
So you're really going to cancel out I'm Every Woman?
Yeah, I think so.
Bold choice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go...
Will this help you? The club was called the Gigi Barnum Room. Does that help you at all?
No.
No? Okay.
No, I'm going to go with Diana Ross.
Diana Ross, I'm Coming Out.
Yes.
Well, girl, you're correct.
Am I really?
You are, yes.
Ah.
I Am Coming Out by Diana Ross was inspired by 3 drag queens at a show that Nile Rodgers saw.
That's awesome. I hope it was Chi Chi and Noxzema.
I doubt it was them.
I love that movie, though.
Yes, me too. I need that to be a Broadway musical when Broadway comes back, and I want Bob the drag queen as Noxzema. No
that
questions
would be
asked.
everything. Okay, so we're finishing up here. So what I'm going to do is I use my ice cream scoop to dose out the perfect size cookie. Now, these are going to be a little bit smaller than the ones that I plated earlier.
Okay.
But it's nice to have variety. So typically when I'm making my cookies, I'll make a few big ones, a few small ones, so that you can pick your portion.
Yeah, variety, a spice of life.
Right. So if they're on the smaller side, you're going to bake them for 18 minutes. For 15 minutes.
Okay.
If they're on the larger side, you're going to bake them for 18 minutes.
And these go in the oven at 375.
That's it. All right, so these we're going to pop in.
Okay. And with some TV magic, they're going to come out of the oven looking just like this.
All right. So
these smell delicious, by the way.
I know, I'm so excited. All right. I hope all of you have enjoyed our very, very, very special Pride
Virtual
episode.
Pride edition, yes.
Yes. Sponsored by and loved by and brought to you by the Triangle Community Center in Norwalk, Connecticut. We are so happy to be working with them, and we're so happy to be able to spend Pride, even if it's away from you, with you in your living room. I bet you never thought you'd see us in your living room.
Right.
Right? All right. So once again, you can find this beautiful woman all social media, especially her Venmo, at Sienna Rose Official.
That's right.
You can find me, Mrs. Anita Manager, everywhere, including my Venmo. And I really hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Pride Week. We can be alone together, and we will get through this together.
Yes, we will. With some chocolate chip cookies.
All right, guys. Thanks again for watching. I'm Anita Manager, and you're amazing.
Good night,
Have a great
guys.
Pride.